No, I'm not a gambling man, but I am good at guessing. As of today, we are 6 months away from the possible launch of Warhammer 11th edition. And you know what? I think it's probably going to be a little spicy. But I think there are going to be 5 major points that are going to occur during the course of 11th edition that I think will define the game and how it's played. I'm going to rank these takes from warm to spicy. As we go through them, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your reactioning to my reasoning, and I want to hear if you think I'm wrong. I'm probably not, but I'm feeling pretty good that I'm right. So here we go. Starting at number 1, our warmest take is that we're getting an 11th edition. I know! Shocker, right? I know, I can hear you typing saying, are you stupid? Is this your first edition of Warhammer? Technically, yes. I joined at the end of 9th. We've always gotten new codexes at the start of a new edition. Not exactly. Older editions of Warhammer did have codexes that carried on over to the next. What I'm thinking is they're gonna do just a clean slate refresh. They're gonna just make a new codex for everyone. New rules. Obviously, they'll be inspired by part by 10th. But it's gonna be a clear delineation of 10th to 11th. No in-betweeners or mix and match like what's currently with Dungeons & Dragons 2024 versus Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's gonna be a whole new slate. We'll probably have some kind of indexes come out at the start like we did at 10th. Some kind of basic framework of rules. Obviously, it's gonna be a rollout of codexes over time, kind of like what we saw in 10th and 9th, but that's the clear indication that we're probably gonna see it in 11th, because Games Workshop has seen that it makes it money that way. Could we get a new Warhammer app? I don't know. Maybe. Could it be more likely that they just clear out everyone's information from 10th edition? I see that more likely. That way nobody ends up thinking about canceling the subscription to the Warhammer app. They just start paying into the next one. You can trust Games Workshop to be greedy, I know. It's in their genes, which they stole. Let's move on to take number 2. It's gonna be a little hotter, and that's that the last firstborn Space Marine infantry will disappear. I'm talking tactical squads. I'm talking Devastator squads. I'm even talking Grey Knights. However, I don't think the vehicles will be refreshed to true scale in 11th edition. I can see that happening during 12th, but I don't see that happening during 11th. I think that once Grey Knights get their eventual true scale refresh at the proper sized Grey Knights minis, I don't think they'll be as tall as Primaris, but I think we're gonna get some good looking, proper refreshed Grey Knights in 11th. I do think that we will get new Vanguard veterans as a Primaris unit. Will they come in a pack of 5 with jump packs, or will they come in a pack of 3 in jump packs like the Sanguinary Guard? I don't know for sure, but I really hope it's 5 versus 3. Either way, could they bring back tactical squads in Primaris? Maybe. They'd probably sell it as its own thing instead of putting a special weapons brew into the intercessor squads just to play on the nostalgia factor. Could they bring back the Devastator squads? Maybe. I don't think the Desolation Marines have been selling real well, so maybe. Hot take number 3. This one's medium well. Are you ready for this? I don't think we're gonna get a Dark Mechanicum faction in 11th edition. Very specifically because of how GW treats AdMech today. No, I think Dark Mechanicum would be a fun and flavorful faction. Bring out some of the old interesting Horus Heresy texts, put a modern 42nd Millennium spin on them, and I think that could be a real interesting and flavorful addition. But I don't trust GW to do it right, because they're not doing AdMech right as is. Shoot, even their newest character, widely hated by many AdMech fans. Don't cry, big guy. I like you. However, I do think we'll get a padded out Servants of Vashdor, Chaos Undivided, Vashdor sub-faction. We'll probably get a couple of refreshed demon engines like the Soul Grinder. That guy's a real old model. He could be refreshed. I could see you being able to ally in some AdMech units and call them Dark Mechanicum, like the Quester Forge Pact for the Imperial Knights. I think that could be fun and flavorful. I think that would scratch the itch for a lot of people. And I think that would get a lot more play from general Chaos players just by virtue of being able to make a small bowl of Chaos soup without needing to commit to a whole new set of Mechanicum units. So with no new Dark Mechanicum on the horizon for 11th edition, let's talk into the endgame of 10th and how I think that's going to impact 11th. I think Leman Russ is coming back at the end of 10th edition. I think that's highly supported by the huge attention Space Wolves got earlier in the year alongside the refresh they got. I think kind of like what happened with the Dark Angels at the end of 9th edition, they'll get all these good looking units, they'll get all these big elements of a refresh. I also think Dark Angels are going to get a Ravenwing refresh in 11th, but I didn't think that take was hot or spicy at all, so, it didn't make the list. So I'm inclined to think, well, if Leman Russ is back, the Lion came back last edition, and has done practically nothing since, I might add, and Gilliman's been back for a while. Here's who I think the returning Loyalist Primarch will be at the end of 11th edition. No one. That's right, I don't think any Primarch will come back at the end of 11th edition. Here's why. Let's look at all the amazing lore contributions the Lion has made throughout 10th edition. Oh, that's right, nothing. Sure, he's been allegedly wandering around Imperium Nihilus, I guess. Can you tell me what he's been doing? He's lying around! I think they're gonna bring back Russ at the end of a 10th, and he'll just clean nothing. They'll just hand wave it and say, oh, he's out doing his own thing. He could be on the Loyalist side of Imperium Nihilus. Gilliman's over on the dark and scary side of Imperium Nihilus now, so maybe he and Lionel meet end of 10th, and then that's when Russ will show up and save the day by beating Fulgrim, all that fun stuff. Now, I can hear you asking, but lamentably, did you forget about Demon Bird Corvus Corax? He's a great guy to bring in. And the Raven Guard got a nice new combat patrol. What about the Khan? Dearest Jagged Eye's been out for a while. We got a nice new Sabotan Khan. And he could be a real fun way to invigorate some of the mounted Space Marine units. That's fair. I hear ya. I don't see the return of either of those Primarchs bringing in new players by themselves. I think that's going to take more lore and fun story development on Games Workshop's part to bring those players in. For Leman Russ, it's, oh look, he's back now. He's got a fancy spear. He's got one of the Emperor's twin spears. And look, he's all big now. Oh, yes, buy Space Wolves. There's simply more Space Wolf units to buy because they're a divergent chapter. So I think they know that he's more likely to be a moneymaker than either of them. So then, that takes us to number 5, the spiciest take. Are you ready? All right. Even though there won't be a returning Loyalist Primarch for 11th edition, I think the edition will end with a new Imperium subfaction led by Constantine Valdor. Yes, that's right, I'm saying it. I think Constantine Valdor will do more to get Custodes players out and spending on a new subfaction than either Corvus Corax or Jagged Icon getting players to buy and invest more into those specific factions. I think a new Constantine Valdor subfaction with flying space marines, organic wings, his own cabal, secret cabal of imperial agents, kind of like agents of the Imperium. And you can even build up that side of the faction as different elements sworn to the Emperor, but not necessarily in favor of Guilliman and their 3 returned primarchs, go in and operate on a orthodoxy divide on what they view as the Emperor's will. And with Constantine Valdor having the other twin spear that Russ has, that could be a fun way for some play dynamics. Will they be opposing sides? Will they work together? Will Russ and the Space Wolves do their own thing separate from Lion and Guilliman? Will Guilliman and Lion even get along when they finally meet up and chat with each other 3 years after the Lion's reintroduction, by the way? Goodness gravy, Games Workshop. Write some lore, please. Obviously, that will mean the Beckwin book has to come out. Maybe it'll come out concurrent to this Constantine Valdor Agents of the Imperium Custodes subgroup thing. But I think it's more likely that we'll get a Constantine Valdor reintroduction than a Corvus or Jagged Eye reintroduction. Anyway, those are my 5 11th edition hot takes, ordered from least spicy to most spicy. What do you think? Do you think I'm dead wrong? Do you think I'm dead right? Do you have any hot takes for 11th edition that you think's gonna happen? Do you trust Games Workshop to make good decisions with their property? Do you think that the eventual Amazon Prime show will make any impact on the future of Warhammer? Is that show even going to come out during 11th edition? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Stay safe and party like the rock stars you are. Adioski!